In an industry built on image and perception, some of the most groundbreaking artists have had to navigate not just the spotlight, but the shadows of speculation, rumor, and societal expectations. These Black LGBTQ+ icons have transformed entertainment while simultaneously challenging the rigid boundaries of identity in America. Their journeys, from silence to self-expression, from rumor to revelation, mirror our culture's evolving understanding of intersectional identity. Behind their artistic contributions lies something even more profound: the courage to exist authentically at the intersection of race and sexuality in a society that hasn't always made space for either. What can their stories teach us about the power of representation and the ongoing struggle for visibility in mainstream culture? If you're inspired by stories of resilience and authenticity, hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore the trailblazers who've changed not just entertainment, but how we understand identity itself. Tyler Perry, the empire builder. From humble beginnings in New Orleans to becoming the first African American to wholly own a major film studio, Tyler Perry embodies the American dream reimagined through Black excellence. Creating the iconic character Medea, Perry built an entertainment empire that has grossed over $1 billion while centering Black stories and employing thousands of Black creatives behind the camera. Throughout his meteoric rise, Perry has maintained an intensely private personal life, keeping the boundaries between his public persona and private world firmly established. Despite persistent rumors about his sexuality, Perry has consistently emphasized that his personal matters remain private, focusing public attention instead on his creative vision and philanthropic efforts. What distinguishes Perry is his singular focus on legacy building rather than rumor management. By establishing Tyler Perry Studios on 330 acres of former Confederate Army base in Atlanta, he transformed a symbol of oppression into a monument of Black achievement. The studio lot features sound stages named after pioneering Black entertainment figures, creating a physical testament to the shoulders upon which his success stands. A devoted father to his son Amon, Perry's commitment to family remains central to his identity. His unwavering focus on creating opportunities for Black talent in an industry that historically excluded them speaks louder than any speculation. Perry's impact transcends entertainment. He has fundamentally altered the landscape of possibility for Black creators in Hollywood while maintaining the personal boundaries he deems essential to his well-being and creative vision. Lil Nas X, the genre-bender Montero Lamar Hill, known professionally as Lil Nas X, shattered both music industry norms and cultural expectations with his 2019 breakthrough hit, Old Town Road. The song's unprecedented 19-week reign atop the Billboard Hot 100 represented more than just commercial success. It challenged rigid genre classifications by blending country and hip-hop, sparking conversations about who belongs in which musical spaces. In a move as bold as his music, Lil Nas X came out as gay during Pride Month at the height of his debut song's popularity. This declaration, from a Black male artist in the historically heteronormative spaces of country and hip-hop, marked a watershed moment in music history. At just 20 years old, he leveraged his sudden platform to increase LGBTQ+ visibility in genres where such representation had been virtually non-existent. Rather than downplaying his sexuality after coming out, Lil Nas X has incorporated it into his artistic expression. His music videos for songs like Montero, Call Me By Your Name, and Industry Baby directly challenge homophobia through provocative imagery that subverts religious and cultural taboos. This unapologetic approach has established him as a voice for a generation navigating their own sexual and gender identities. Despite facing backlash and homophobic criticism, Lil Nas X has maintained his authenticity while continuing to evolve artistically. In 2023, he playfully tweeted about potentially being a little bisexual, showcasing his comfort with the fluidity of identity and his unwillingness to be confined by labels. At just 24, his boundary-breaking approach to both music and identity has already left an indelible mark on popular culture. Billy Porter. The category is Billy Porter's groundbreaking performance as Pray Tell in Pose wasn't just award-winning television. It was a cultural reset that brought ballroom culture and the struggles of Black queer communities during the AIDS crisis to mainstream audiences. His historic Emmy win as the first openly gay Black man to receive the Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series award shattered a ceiling many thought impenetrable. Long before Pose made him a household name, Porter was building a formidable career on Broadway, winning a Tony Award for his role as Lola in Kinky Boots. Throughout his journey, Porter has been unflinchingly open about his sexuality, using his platform to advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and HIV/AIDS awareness. What distinguishes Porter is his refusal to compromise his authentic self for industry acceptance. His red carpet appearances have redefined gendered fashion, most iconically with his velvet tuxedo gown at the 2019 Academy Awards. These fashion statements aren't merely aesthetic choices, but political acts that challenge gender norms and expand the possibilities for self-expression. Porter's candor about his personal journey, growing up in a Pentecostal church that rejected his sexuality, navigating an entertainment industry reluctant to cast openly gay Black men in leading roles, and living with HIV since 2007, has provided crucial visibility. By sharing his struggles with such transparency, Porter has created space for conversations about intersectional identity and resilience. His success represents not just personal triumph, but a shifting cultural landscape that increasingly celebrates authenticity over conformity. Queen Latifah, the royal presence. Dana Elaine Owens, known professionally as Queen Latifah, has reigned in entertainment for over 3 decades, seamlessly transitioning from pioneering female rapper to award-winning actress and producer. Her breakthrough 1989 album, All Hail the Queen, and anthemic single, Ladies First, established her as a voice for female empowerment in the male-dominated hip-hop landscape of the late 1980s. Throughout her multifaceted career, from her iconic role in Living Single to her Oscar-nominated performance in Chicago and her successful production company, Flavor Unit Entertainment, Latifah has maintained a resolute stance on privacy regarding her personal life. Despite persistent media speculation about her sexuality, she has consistently drawn clear boundaries, asserting that her private relationships remain her own business. What makes Latifah's approach remarkable is her ability to maintain these boundaries while still using her platform for advocacy. Her production company has brought diverse stories to the screen, including LGBTQ+ narratives. At the 2021 BET Awards, while accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award, she publicly acknowledged her longtime partner, Ebony Nichols, and their son Rebel for the first time, concluding with, "Happy Pride." This moment exemplified Latifah's philosophy, recognizing the importance of visibility while maintaining agency over how and when she shares personal aspects of her life. Her career embodies the principle that public figures, particularly Black women who face scrutiny at the intersection of race and gender, deserve the right to define their own narratives. Latifah's legacy transcends labels, demonstrating that one's impact can be revolutionary without sacrificing personal boundaries. Porsha Williams, the reality maven. Porsha Williams burst into public consciousness through The Real Housewives of Atlanta, quickly establishing herself as a fan favorite with her vibrant personality and unforgettable one-liners. Since her 2012 debut on the show, she has evolved from newly divorced socialite to successful entrepreneur, activist, and media personality with her own spin-off series. Throughout her time in the spotlight, Williams has faced periodic speculation about her sexuality, particularly regarding her close friendships with women. Rather than allowing these rumors to provoke defensive reactions, she has consistently approached them with humor and grace, often laughing them off in interviews while redirecting attention to her well-documented relationships with men. Williams' romantic history, including her marriage to former NFL player Kordell Stewart and her engagement to entrepreneur Simon Guobadia, has generally quieted such speculation. However, her relaxed response to rumors reflects a broader understanding that sexuality exists on a spectrum and that public curiosity about celebrities' personal lives is inevitable. What distinguishes Williams is her evolution as an activist, particularly following her arrest at Breonna Taylor protests in 2020. This commitment to social justice demonstrates her understanding of how marginalized identities, including both racial and LGBTQ+ identities, face similar structures of oppression. Though identifying as straight, Williams has consistently shown allyship to the LGBTQ+ community, recognizing the intersection of struggles for equality. Her journey from reality TV personality to entrepreneur and activist illustrates how public figures can use their platforms for meaningful advocacy while maintaining boundaries around their personal lives. Eddie Murphy, the comedy legend. Eddie Murphy revolutionized comedy and transformed Hollywood's perception of black, leading men through his meteoric rise in the 1980s. From his breakthrough on Saturday Night Live to blockbuster films like Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America, and The Nutty Professor. Murphy's versatility and charisma established him as one of entertainment's most bankable stars. Throughout his decades in the spotlight, Murphy has faced periodic speculation about his sexuality, particularly during the early 1990s. These rumors persisted despite his high-profile relationships with women and his role as father to 10 children. Rather than directly addressing such speculation, Murphy has consistently let his personal life speak for itself, maintaining focus on his family and career. One controversial aspect of Murphy's early career was his use of homophobic material in comedy specials, like 1983's Delirious. Years later, he expressed regret for these jokes, acknowledging they were insensitive. This evolution reflects broader societal changes in understanding LGBTQ+ issues and demonstrates personal growth in his perspective. Murphy's approach to rumor management has been straightforward, focusing on his well-documented relationships with women, including his marriage to Nicole Mitchell Murphy, with whom he shares 5 children, and his relationship with Spice Girl Mel B. These public relationships effectively countered speculation without requiring direct refutation. His 2019 comeback with the critically acclaimed Dolomite Is My Name and the sequel Coming to America reinforced Murphy's enduring cultural relevance. Throughout his career evolution, he has maintained a consistent position, letting his work and family life speak volumes while treating personal rumors as noise unworthy of direct response. Frank Ocean, the music innovator. Frank Ocean redefined contemporary R&B through his innovative storytelling, genre-blending soundscapes, and uncompromising artistic vision. His self-released mixtape, Nostalgia Ultra, captured industry attention in 2011, but it was his 2012 debut album, Channel Orange, that established him as a revolutionary voice in music. Days before Channel Orange's release, Ocean published an open letter originally intended for the album's liner notes describing his first love, a man. This revelation, unprecedented for a male artist in the hip-hop and R&B community at that time, came through beautiful, vulnerable prose rather than a labeled declaration. The letter's literary quality reflected Ocean's approach to identity, complex, nuanced, and refusing simplistic categorization. Ocean's 2016 visual album, Blonde, further cemented his artistic significance, debuting at number 1 despite minimal promotion and being released independently after he fulfilled his contractual obligations to Def Jam. This move underscored his commitment to artistic autonomy and controlling his narrative on his own terms. What distinguishes Ocean's approach to his sexuality is his refusal to make it a marketing point, while simultaneously incorporating queer perspectives into his work with unflinching honesty. Songs like Forrest Gump and Chanel, I See Both Sides Like Chanel, explore same-sex desire through sophisticated metaphor and direct reference alike. Despite his cultural impact, Ocean maintains an intensely private life, rarely giving interviews and largely stepping away from social media. This selective engagement with fame allows his music to speak for itself while establishing boundaries that protect his personal world from becoming public property. His influence extends beyond music to a philosophy of authenticity that refuses exploitation for commercial gain. Bobby Vive, the smooth crooner. Bobby Wilson, professionally known as Bobby V, formerly Bobby Valentino, emerged in the mid-2000s as a defining voice in contemporary R&B. After initially gaining recognition as a member of the group Mista, his 2005 self-titled solo debut spawned hits like Slow Down that showcased his smooth vocals and romantic lyricism. Throughout his career, Bobby V has faced persistent rumors regarding his sexuality, particularly intensifying in the social media era where speculation can quickly amplify beyond control. Despite these rumors, he has consistently maintained that they are baseless and emphasized that his personal life remains private. In interviews addressing this speculation, Bobby V has expressed frustration with how quickly unfounded rumors can spread and potentially impact an artist's career, particularly for male R&B singers who express emotional vulnerability through their music. Rather than allowing this speculation to alter his artistic approach, he has remained focused on creating music that resonates with his audience. His resilience in the face of persistent rumors demonstrates the unique challenges faced by male artists in R&B, a genre that often requires emotional expressiveness and sensitivity that can conflict with narrow societal definitions of black masculinity. This tension has historically made male R&B artists particular targets for speculation about their sexuality. Bobby V's continued success, including hit collaborations with artists like Lil Wayne and Timbaland, speaks to his ability to maintain artistic focus despite outside noise. His approach to handling rumors, denial without defensiveness, paired with a commitment to privacy, reflects his understanding that his music, not gossip, will define his ultimate legacy in the industry. Lee Daniels, the visionary director. Lee Daniels transformed Hollywood's landscape through raw, unflinching storytelling that centers marginalized voices, particularly at the intersection of Black and LGBTQ+ experiences. His breakthrough as a producer came with Monsters Ball, which made Halle Berry the first African-American woman to win the Academy Award for Best Actress. As a director, his 2009 film Precious earned 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Director, making him only the second black director nominated in that category. Early in his career, Daniels faced persistent speculation about his sexuality while working in an industry not yet ready to embrace openly gay black creators. In 2015, he publicly came out as gay, embracing his identity with the same boldness that characterizes his filmmaking. Rather than allowing his sexuality to be defined by rumors or industry perception, Daniels took control of his narrative on his own terms. His groundbreaking television series, Empire, featured a complex black gay character in Jamal Lyon, portrayed by Jussie Smollett. This representation was revolutionary for network television, particularly in a show centered on the hip-hop industry. Through this character, Daniels explored the tensions between black masculinity, sexuality, and family acceptance, drawing partly from his own experiences. What distinguishes Daniels' approach to both his work and personal life is his refusal to sanitize difficult truths. From his candid discussions about growing up gay in a physically abusive household to his film's exploration of racism, homophobia, and addiction, Daniels consistently confronts uncomfortable realities. By sharing his own truth while creating space for complex LGBTQ+ characters on screen, Daniels has expanded the possibilities for authentic representation in an industry historically resistant to such narratives. Ciara. The R&B princess Ciara. Princess Harris emerged as a defining voice of 2000s R&B with her 2004 debut album, Goodies, which established her as a triple threat: vocalist, dancer, and songwriter. Her precision choreography and smooth vocal delivery created an instantly recognizable artistic identity that has sustained a career spanning nearly 2 decades. Throughout her time in the spotlight, Ciara has faced various rumors about her personal life, including speculation about her sexuality. Rather than allowing these rumors to distract from her artistic contributions, she has consistently maintained her right to privacy while focusing on her career evolution and family life. Her well-documented relationships, including her marriage to NFL quarterback Russell Wilson and her role as mother to 3 children, have generally quieted such speculation. However, Ciara's approach to rumor management reflects a broader philosophy that her personal life belongs to her, not to public consumption or debate. What distinguishes Ciara is her seamless evolution from teenage sensation to mature artist and businesswoman. She has expanded into fashion design, modeled for major brands, and launched her own entertainment company and record label. This entrepreneurial spirit demonstrates her understanding that true longevity in entertainment requires building beyond performing. Ciara's dignified handling of rumors while building a multifaceted career and family life represents a masterclass in maintaining boundaries in an industry that often expects unlimited access to artists' personal lives. Her journey reminds us that public figures, particularly women of color, deserve agency in determining which aspects of their lives become public and which remain private, regardless of their sexuality. Jussie Smollett, the Empire star. Jussie Smollett captured audiences' hearts as Jamal Lyon on the hit series Empire, portraying a gay musician fighting for acceptance in the hip-hop industry and his family's entertainment dynasty. His sensitive performance provided groundbreaking representation of Black LGBTQ+ experiences on network television, resonating particularly with viewers navigating similar intersectional identities. Smollett publicly came out as gay in 2015 during an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, though he later described his sexuality as fluid rather than strictly defined. His openness about his identity, coupled with his portrayal of Jamal, established him as an important voice for LGBTQ+ representation in an industry with limited diversity. In January 2019, Smollett reported being the victim of a hate crime in Chicago, describing it as a racially and homophobically motivated assault. The incident initially garnered widespread support and concern. However, the situation took a dramatic turn when Chicago police accused Smollett of staging the attack, leading to criminal charges that were initially dropped but later reinstated. The controversy surrounding these events placed Smollett's life under intense public scrutiny and effectively derailed his promising career. Despite the ongoing legal battles and public opinion debates, Smollett has maintained his innocence regarding the allegations. This complex chapter illustrates the heightened scrutiny faced by public figures at the intersection of racial and sexual minority status. Regardless of one's perspective on the case, Smollett's journey highlights how quickly public narratives can shift and the particular challenges faced by Black LGBTQ+ celebrities navigating both the entertainment industry and broader societal prejudices. August Alsina, the soulful enigma. August Alsina emerged from a troubled New Orleans childhood marked by drug dealing and violence to become one of R&B's most emotionally raw voices. His 2014 debut album, Testimony, showcased his ability to transform personal pain into haunting melodies, establishing him as a distinctive presence in contemporary soul music. Throughout his career, Alsina has faced speculation about his sexuality, particularly following his revelations about a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith that he described as an entanglement. While this disclosure generated intense public interest and debate, Alsina has maintained that his personal relationships remain largely private matters, regardless of the speculation they might inspire. What distinguishes Alsina is his willingness to be vulnerable about certain aspects of his life, including his battle with an autoimmune disease that temporarily left him paralyzed, while establishing clear boundaries around his romantic life. This selective transparency reflects his understanding that public figures can share their struggles without surrendering all privacy. Alsina's music consistently explores themes of pain, healing, and complicated love, creating emotional resonance regardless of the specific details of his personal relationships. His 2020 single Entanglements directly addressed the media frenzy surrounding his revelations about Pinkett Smith, demonstrating his ability to reclaim narrative control through his art. Despite the rumors and speculation that have followed his career, Alsina has maintained focus on his music and healing journey. His approach reminds us that public figures, particularly those from communities that have historically been overly scrutinized, deserve space to define their identities and relationships on their own terms, without external categorization or judgment. Jaden Smith, the style revolutionary. Jaden Smith has defied categorization since childhood, emerging from the shadow of famous parents, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, to establish himself as a boundary-breaking force in fashion, music, and cultural conversation. His acting career began alongside his father in The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006. But it's his fearless approach to gender expression that has made him a cultural touchstone for Gen Z. In 2019, Smith openly discussed his sexuality on Facebook Watch's Red Table Talk, revealing his relationships with both men and women and embracing a fluid approach to both gender and sexuality. Rather than adopting specific labels, Smith has consistently advocated for freedom from categorization, challenging the binary thinking that has historically limited self-expression. Smith's fashion choices have become his most visible form of boundary breaking. From wearing skirts in Louis Vuitton campaigns to creating his gender-neutral clothing line, MSFTS Rep, he has consistently rejected the notion that clothing should be dictated by gender. His ever-changing hairstyles, from bleached blonde to bright pink, further emphasize his commitment to self-expression beyond conventional limitations. What distinguishes Smith's approach to identity is his refusal to treat his choices as provocations or statements. Instead, he presents them as natural expressions of an authentic self not confined by societal expectations. This matter-of-fact attitude toward fluid identity has resonated powerfully with younger generations navigating their own complex relationships with gender and sexuality. At just 25, Smith has already left an indelible mark on cultural conversations about identity. His comfort with ambiguity and refusal to conform to expectations represents a generational shift toward viewing identity as an ongoing exploration rather than a fixed destination. Richard Pryor, the tragic genius. Richard Pryor transformed American comedy through raw, unflinching truth-telling that confronted race, addiction, and his own fractured life with unprecedented honesty. Born in Peoria, Illinois, and raised in his grandmother's brothel, Pryor's chaotic upbringing provided the painful raw material that would later fuel his groundbreaking comedy. Throughout his life, Pryor maintained privacy regarding his sexuality, despite being married 7 times to 5 different women. His comedy occasionally contained references to same-sex experiences, but these were often framed within his comedic persona, leaving audiences uncertain where performance ended and personal truth began. Years after his death in 2005 from multiple sclerosis complications, Pryor's widow, Jennifer Lee, confirmed claims by music producer Quincy Jones that Pryor had relationships with men, including actor Marlon Brando. According to Lee, Pryor was open about his bisexuality with close friends and documented these experiences in personal diaries, viewing sexuality as fluid during an era when such perspectives were rarely acknowledged publicly. What makes Pryor's story particularly poignant is the context of his era, a time when being openly LGBTQ+, particularly for a black male celebrity, carried enormous professional and personal risks. Coming of age in mid-20th century America, Pryor navigated a society where both his race and the complexity of his sexuality placed him at multiple intersections of marginalization. Pryor's legacy extends beyond his comedy to his embodiment of the costs of living authentically in a society unready for such honesty. His struggles with addiction, mental health challenges, and the burden of hiding aspects of his identity reveal the toll of navigating fame while carrying secrets deemed too dangerous to share fully in his lifetime. Sylvester, the disco icon. Sylvester James Jr., known simply as Sylvester, embodied the liberating spirit of disco through his soaring falsetto, flamboyant stage presence, and unapologetic authenticity. Born in Los Angeles in 1947, he discovered his voice singing in a Pentecostal church choir, but the religious community's rejection of his sexuality pushed him toward San Francisco, where he found both personal freedom and artistic community. Unlike many performers of his era, Sylvester refused to downplay his sexuality or gender expression for commercial success. His androgynous appearance, complete with sequins, makeup, and elaborate costumes, was not a stage gimmick but an authentic expression of his identity. This visual boldness complemented his vocal virtuosity, creating a unified artistic vision that celebrated liberation through self-expression. Sylvester's 1978 disco anthem, "You Make Me Feel Mighty Real," became more than just a dance floor hit. It emerged as a declaration of queer joy and authenticity that resonated far beyond its era. The song's celebration of feeling real carried profound significance for LGBTQ+ communities fighting for visibility and acceptance. As the AIDS crisis devastated San Francisco's gay community in the 1980s, Sylvester became an outspoken advocate, using his platform to raise awareness and funds when many celebrities remained silent. After his own HIV diagnosis, he continued performing and advocating until his death in 1988 at just 41 years old. What distinguishes Sylvester's legacy is his refusal to compromise his identity despite the commercial limitations it imposed. In an era before mainstream LGBTQ representation, he created space for radical authenticity that inspired generations of artists. His life embodied the revolutionary potential of being unabashedly oneself when society demands conformity. Wanda Sykes, the media mogul. Wanda Sykes has mastered the rare combination of biting social commentary and irresistible humor that makes audiences simultaneously think and laugh. Her sharp observations on race, politics, and identity have established her as one of comedy's most distinctive and respected voices over a career spanning 3 decades. After establishing herself as a writer and performer on The Chris Rock Show in the late 1990s, earning an Emmy for her writing, Sykes built a multifaceted career that includes stand-up specials, film roles, television series, and voice acting. Her distinctive vocal delivery and impeccable timing have made her instantly recognizable across various media platforms. In 2008, at age 44, Sykes publicly came out at a Las Vegas rally protesting California's Proposition 8, which banned same-sex marriage. This deeply personal revelation came after she had married her wife Alex earlier that year. The timing, using her coming out as a political act during a crucial civil rights moment, reflected Sykes's understanding of how personal truth can function as powerful advocacy. What distinguishes Sykes's approach to her sexuality is her matter-of-fact integration of it into her comedy and public persona. Rather than allowing it to become her defining characteristic, she presents it as one aspect of her multifaceted identity alongside being Black, a woman, a mother to twins, and a comedic force. This normalizing approach has provided crucial visibility while avoiding the reductive pigeonholing that often happens to marginalized performers. Sykes's continued mainstream success, from hosting the White House Correspondents' Dinner to producing and starring in network television, demonstrates that authentic representation need not be career-limiting. Her journey reminds us that living truthfully can expand rather than constrain one's impact and reach. André De Shields, the Broadway legend. André De Shields has illuminated Broadway stages for over 50 years, embodying theatrical excellence through iconic performances that span generations. His career began in the landmark 1969 production of Hair and reached a crowning achievement with his 2019 Tony Award for Hadestown at age 73, proving that artistic brilliance can defy time and industry limitations. Throughout his pioneering career, De Shields has been open about his sexuality while refusing to let it define or limit his artistic range. In an industry and era that often typecast openly gay performers, he consistently transcended such restrictions through sheer talent and determination, creating opportunities where the establishment offered few. His groundbreaking work in shows like The Wiz, where he originated the title role, and Ain't Misbehavin', established him as a transformative performer who could bring both flamboyance and nuance to his characterizations. His career has been characterized not just by longevity, but by continuous evolution and relevance across changing theatrical eras. What distinguishes De Shields' approach to both his art and identity is captured in his 3 cardinal rules of sustainability. Be prepared to fail, proceed without permission, and recognize sustainability comes from within. These principles reflect his understanding that for Black LGBTQ+ artists, waiting for institutional acceptance means waiting forever. Creating one's own path is essential. De Shields' receipt of major accolades late in his career symbolizes both the industry's slow progress in recognizing diverse talent and the power of persistent artistic integrity. His journey from Baltimore to Broadway, navigating both racial barriers and homophobia while maintaining creative excellence, provides an inspiring template for perseverance that continues to influence younger generations of performers. Roach, the fashion maven. Roach revolutionized the fashion industry by elevating the role of stylist to that of image architect, a term he coined to describe his comprehensive approach to building celebrities' visual identities. From transforming Zendaya from Disney star to fashion icon to revitalizing Celine Dion's image, Roach's visionary eye has repeatedly proven that style can fundamentally reshape public perception. As an openly gay Black man in an industry that often appropriates Black culture while excluding Black creators, Roach has consistently advocated for greater inclusion and recognition. His meteoric rise, from running a vintage boutique in Chicago to styling Met Gala appearances and judging on HBO Max's Legendary, represents a triumph over the fashion world's entrenched barriers. In March 2023, Roach shocked the fashion world by announcing his retirement as a celebrity stylist, citing the toll of industry politics and pressures. This decision highlighted the often invisible emotional labor required of creatives, particularly those from marginalized backgrounds who must navigate additional layers of scrutiny and expectation. What distinguishes Roach is his understanding that fashion constitutes a powerful language that can communicate identity and challenge assumptions. His work with Zendaya, in particular, has consistently referenced Black cultural history while pushing boundaries, creating red carpet moments that function as both artistic statements and cultural commentary. Roach's journey from the south side of Chicago to the pinnacle of high fashion demonstrates how talent, when paired with authenticity and strategic vision, can disrupt established systems. By demanding recognition on his own terms rather than assimilating to industry expectations, he has created space for future generations of Black LGBTQ+ creatives to bring their full selves to their work. Alvin Ailey, the choreography genius. Alvin Ailey revolutionized modern dance through choreography that centered the Black experience with unprecedented power and grace. His 1960 masterpiece, Revelations, inspired by his childhood memories of Texas churches, remains one of the most performed modern dance works in history, a testament to its universal emotional resonance and cultural significance. Born in 1931 in Rogers, Texas, during the Great Depression and Jim Crow segregation, Ailey transformed the limitations imposed by racism into a distinctive artistic vision. After moving to Los Angeles as a teenager, he discovered dance relatively late at age 18, yet quickly developed into a performer of remarkable depth, and then a choreographer whose work would redefine the possibilities of modern dance. In founding the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1958, Ailey created an institutional home for Black dancers and choreographers at a time when classical dance companies remained largely segregated. This company became not just a performance ensemble, but a cultural institution dedicated to preserving and extending the contribution of Black artists to modern dance. Throughout his life, Ailey maintained intense privacy regarding his personal life, including his sexuality. He lived during an era when being openly gay could destroy not only a personal reputation, but an entire artistic legacy. Despite this necessary caution, his work often explored themes of freedom, spirituality, and the body's capacity for both suffering and transcendence. Themes that resonated deeply with LGBTQ+ experiences. When Ailey died in 1989 from AIDS-related illness at 58, his death certificate listed terminal blood dyscrasia as the cause, reflecting the stigma surrounding HIV/AIDS. This final act of concealment underscores the profound challenges faced by Black LGBTQ+ artists of his generation. Despite these constraints, Ailey's artistic truth speaks with undiminished power, his company continuing to perform his works worldwide as living testimony to his genius and vision. James Baldwin, the literary prophet. James Baldwin's penetrating prose dismantled America's comforting myths about race and sexuality with surgical precision and moral urgency. His novels, essays, and public speaking confronted the nation with truths it had long refused to acknowledge, establishing him as one of the 20th century's most essential literary voices and prophetic moral witnesses. Born in Harlem in 1924, Baldwin experienced firsthand the racism, poverty, and religious hypocrisy that would later fuel his writing. After fleeing to Paris at 24 to escape American racism and homophobia, he gained the necessary distance to examine his homeland with extraordinary clarity. His debut novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, 1953, explored the complex intersection of race, religion, and sexuality that would define much of his work. Baldwin's 1956 novel, Giovanni's Room, featuring white gay characters in Paris, demonstrated his refusal to be limited by publishers' expectations that Black authors should write only about race. This insistence on artistic freedom to explore sexuality alongside racial identity was revolutionary for its time and expanded the possibilities for Black writers. What distinguishes Baldwin is his uncompromising honesty about America's foundational contradictions and his own complex identities. As a gay Black man from poverty who became an international literary figure, he embodied intersectionality before the term existed, understanding how various forms of oppression interconnect while refusing to hierarchically rank them. In works like The Fire Next Time and public debates with figures like William F. Buckley, Baldwin articulated the moral challenge of American racism with an eloquence that continues to resonate decades later. His warning that not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced, remains the essential starting point for any meaningful social transformation. Nell Carter, the screen legend. Nell Carter defied industry limitations through sheer talent and determination, building a multifaceted career that spanned Broadway, television, and film. Her Tony Award-winning performance in Ain't Misbehavin' showcased her extraordinary vocal power and comedic timing, establishing her as a Broadway force before she achieved mainstream television success. Carter's starring role in the NBC sitcom Gimme a Break, 1981 to 1987, made her a household name as housekeeper Nell Harper. In an era with limited representation of black women on network television, Carter brought depth and nuance to a role that could have easily fallen into stereotype. Her performance earned 2 Emmy nominations and demonstrated her ability to infuse even conventional sitcom formats with authentic emotion and sharp comic timing. Throughout her career, Carter maintained privacy regarding her personal life, including her sexuality. While she was married twice to men and had 3 children, friends later confirmed she had relationships with women as well. Living during an era when being openly bisexual could derail a mainstream entertainment career, Carter kept this aspect of her identity private. What distinguished Carter was her refusal to be limited by Hollywood's narrow vision of black female performers. From her Broadway triumphs to her television success and film appearances, she consistently sought roles that showcased her versatility rather than conforming to industry expectations. Her powerful voice, both literally and figuratively, created space where previously there had been little. When Carter died in 2003 at age 54 from heart disease complications, she left behind a legacy of barrier-breaking performances that demonstrated how talent could transcend the industry's limitations. Her journey from Birmingham, Alabama, during segregation to Broadway and television success illustrated the power of perseverance against multiple forms of discrimination. Colman Domingo, the vulnerability pioneer. Colman Domingo has built an extraordinary career by bringing emotional depth and authentic humanity to every role, from Broadway stages to acclaimed films like If Beale Street Could Talk, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and his Oscar-nominated performance in Rustin. His versatility across drama, comedy, and musical theater reveals an artist committed to expanding the possibilities for black actors. Unlike many performers who achieve mainstream success, Domingo has been openly gay throughout his career, refusing to compartmentalize his identity even when industry wisdom suggested doing so might limit opportunities. This authenticity has informed his work both on screen and as a writer. His play, A Boy and His Soul, explores his experience growing up black and gay in Philadelphia through the soundtrack of soul music. Domingo's performance as civil rights organizer Bayard Rustin in the 2023 biopic Rustin represents a perfect alignment of artist and subject. In portraying Rustin, a brilliant strategist behind the 1963 March on Washington who was marginalized within the civil rights movement due to his sexuality, Domingo brought visibility to an essential historical figure long denied proper recognition because he was openly gay. What distinguishes Domingo is his commitment to creating more inclusive narratives both through his performances and his advocacy. As an older actor who found major film success in his 50s, he represents the value of artistic persistence and the power of bringing lived experience to roles that require emotional maturity and nuance. His journey demonstrates that authentic representation matters not just for visibility, but for artistic excellence. By bringing his full self to his work, Domingo has expanded the industry's understanding of black masculinity and created more space for LGBTQ+ actors who refuse to separate their identities from their art. These 21 stories collectively illuminate the complex intersections of race, sexuality, and celebrity in American culture. Each journey, whether characterized by open acknowledgement, private authenticity, or evolving self-definition, contributes to a fuller understanding of identity beyond simplistic categories. What emerges across these narratives is the profound resilience required to navigate fame while carrying marginalized identities. From pioneers like Sylvester and James Baldwin, who created space where none existed, to contemporary voices like Lil Nas X and Billy Porter, who have transformed that space into platforms for unapologetic authenticity, each has expanded the possibilities for those who follow. Perhaps most striking is how these stories trace America's evolving relationship with intersectional identity. Early figures often faced impossible choices between career viability and personal truth, while younger generations increasingly refuse this false dichotomy. This evolution reflects broader cultural shifts, but also the concrete impact of representation itself. Each visible LGBTQ+ Black celebrity makes the path slightly less treacherous for the next. As our understanding of identity continues to evolve beyond rigid categories toward recognition of its inherent fluidity and complexity, these trailblazers remind us that authentic self-expression is not merely a personal choice, but a revolutionary act with power to transform culture.